Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Fired Up Life Show. Yes, I'm here, Kirby Liaban, helping you to get motivated and focused in reaching your dreams and living out your faith. Yes, let's go. Let's have our Fired Up Life Show for today. And our topic is making tough choices, how to gather the courage to decide. Yes. And if you're in that point right now where you are facing a big decision, if you're at that point right now where you're discerning about something and it's quite scary because those choices have long term consequences, positive or negative, and you've got to really think about it kung yun ang desisyon mo o hindi. Kung tutuloy ka o hindi. Ayan, no? So there are types of decisions that are not so tough, but there are those that are really hard to make. And often, if they're hard to make, we put them off for later. No? One of the harder decisions that I had to make in my life early on was should I migrate from Cebu to Manila? No, those were some things that I could remember na ang hirap desisyonan because it would have long-term consequences. It would have a long-term effect. Okay. And some of the things that I also decided was to, you know, uh, embrace mission work after I graduated. No, that was a tough decision, but I felt that I was called. But those are also that's one part of my life that I could say that was a tough decision. And going into business was another tough decision that I could remember that I made. Ayan. So, what tough decisions did you make in the past? And what tough decisions are you facing today? No, ano ba ang hinaharap mo na mga desisyon na maaring masasabi mo ang hirap desisyonan? Or maybe uh, eventually you have to make a decision in the future pero hindi mo pa masyado iniisip kasi masyadong mahirap, no? Kasi it needs a lot of discernment, it needs a lot of prayers, it needs a lot of analyzing and thinking. Okay. So that's our topic for today, making tough choices, no? Para tumapang tayo when it comes to decision making. Yes. And if you're watching this broadcast right now, let me know where you're watching this from and just put there in the comments, no, kung taga saan kayo, kung taga Pilipinas ba o taga ibang parte ng mundo. Just let me know. I'd really appreciate that. All right. So, ayan. So the Fired Up Life show is here to get you motivated and focused in pursuing your dreams and living out your faith. Now, we have big dreams, but if you're afraid to make big decisions, so we won't be able to reach that, right? So we've got to make those tough choices. All right. So the Fired Up Life is all about motivation for work and life. So I've been advocating, you know, productivity. I've been advocating, the practice of good Christian witnessing in the workplace, in business, di ba? Kasi we need to get fired up at work. Na hindi lang dun sa weekend, sa bakasyon, o sa ating mga kanya-kanyang respective services, what you do for the parish or community, di ba? We're excited about those things, but we also need to get motivated at work because there's a lot of challenges that we face every time we come to work, di ba? So let's get motivated and let's get fired up. And thank you to our fired up patrons for making this show possible. If you want to be one of our patrons, just go to patreon.com/fireduplife. All right. The Fired Up Live show is live every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 3 o'clock p.m. Ayan, nagsimula po ito nung panahon ng pandemya, nung kasagsagan ng pandemya, and we've been running for more than a year already. And, faithfully, we're here Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right. So, let me know if you're watching this right now. Just put there in the comments kung fired up ka na ba? Are you ready to get fired up for today? All right. So, let's begin making tough choices, how to gather the courage to decide, 'di ba? Kasi nakakatakot magdesisyon. nakakatakot mag-decide, but there are things that we really need to make a decision on. Otherwise, walang mangyayari sa ating buhay because we're stuck in a certain place, we're stuck in a certain point in our lives, we feel that we're not growing, probably because we have not decided on some matters that need our attention. Okay, so, you know, some tough choices can be categorized this way. This is how I look at it: confusing and complicated. Parang ayaw mo siyang desisyonan kasi baka hindi mo naiintindihan ang mga bagay-bagay, 'no? Komplikado siya. For example, going into business, hindi ka makakapagnegosyo kasi nahihirapan ka sa pag-intindi ng ano ba yung sole proprietor, korporasyon, OPC, partnership, cooperatives, 'no? Sometimes ano siya, komplikado para sa atin kaya hindi na lang natin gagawin, 'no? But we know that the decision is important to make, but because of its complications, because of the things that we still have to analyze and to learn, we just don't do those decisions na lang, 'no? Pinapatabi na lang natin yung mga desisyon na yan. So, it can be confusing, it can be complicated, no? So maybe that's tough for many of us. Another probably uh, telltale sign of a tough choice could be parehong maganda, parehong okay yung dalawang bagay. Maganda yung mga choices natin. Um, Kaya nahihirapan ka kasi ano decision between two good things. Okay naman dito, okay din do'n, 'di ba? So, dahil okay yung dalawa, parang ang hirap desisyonan, 'no? It's hard to make a decision which is better, and we can't seem to weigh things that way. So both are good, but ano ba talaga ang mas maganda? And definitely the third part, it's a tough choice when ano siya, life-changing yung consequences. Meaning, you know that when you make that decision, it will affect the rest of your life hangga't tumanda ka na, 'di ba? Like decisions like migrating, decisions like um na magpapakasal ka to a certain person, 'di ba? So, life-changing consequences mga 'yan. So, these are tough choices. That's why people go on retreats. That's why people go on recollections because hindi madali lahat ng bagay. Not everything is easy to decide upon. And actually, that's what makes life exciting as well and thrilling, 'di ba? The mysteries of life, the things we have to decide on despite the uncertainties that may lie ahead. Okay? So these are tough choices. And we need to toughen up. We need to become decisive. Otherwise, we'll get stuck. So a lot of people who feel like, okay, ang tagal ko na sa sitwasyong to, parang walang nangyayari, hindi umuusad, kasi hindi tayo nagdedesisyon. We were not able to make decisions. So hopefully this session of ours today will help you discern, will help you finally do something about your life in terms of making decisions. Okay, so you can share this post with your friends whom you think, or tag them na whom you think na nahihirapan magdesisyon these days. Okay, okay. So, ayan, no? So, it can be confusing, complicated, both are good, but ano ba talaga ang better decision? Okay? So, and again, there's a life-changing consequence. Matindi. No? It's not a simple decision could be what to wear for the day. Wala namang life-changing consequences. Diba? Pero where to live, what job to take, um, uh, what business to go into, if you're gonna join a community, tatakbo ka ba sa no, politika. These are life-changing consequences. Okay, so we want to understand how we are going to make tough choices in life. And when we are indecisive, um, this can be the consequences. You get paralyzed, analysis paralysis. I don't know if you're if you're fond of this, pero sometimes we try to escape decision making by overanalyzing things. When I say overanalyzing things, parati mong sinasabi pag-isipan ko muna. Or maybe you're researching about it. That's well and good. But that research is taking months and months already. Perhaps you're buying a lot of books about it, reading on about it. Perhaps because we wanna delay certain decision, pag-aralan ko muna, no? So we try to analyze it, well and good, but for how long? So we get paralyzed in a certain state of our lives, no? 5 years pa rin, nag-a-analyze ka pa rin kung ano talagang gagawin mo sa buhay mo. Okay? So we can get paralyzed, and then if you're suffering with analysis paralysis, just comment there uh, in our comment section. Just put there, no? Ako, no? Analysis paralysis, guilty. Ayan. So, yan yung consequence ng being indecisive. Siyempre, indecisiveness, when your actions are a bit delayed, kailangan na ng grupo ng desisyon, pero matagal kang mag-action, no, kasi you're not sure about a lot of things. So, progress is delayed. And delayed actions means delayed progress also. And because of indecisiveness, no, we miss a lot of opportunities. Kasi not all opportunities really just present itself and stay forever. No, a lot of times opportunities come and they go. No, you miss that window. And when you're indecisive, pag hindi ka handa sa desisyonan yung isang bagay, mawawala yan sa atin. Okay? So that can be a consequence of indecisiveness. Another is fear and doubt. No? Na masyado tayong matatakutin at masyado tayong nagkakaroon ng ah, pagdududa sa ating sarili. Ang tawag diyan, imposter syndrome. Am I good enough? Ah, why am I teaching these things to people? Baka mas magaling pa yung iba. No? So you doubt your capacity. Hindi naman ako eksperto sa ganyan. No? And because of fear and doubt, you become indecisive. You become frozen. No? Not in the Disney sense na frozen, na let it go. Pero yung na-frozen tayo in terms of our capacity to move forward. Okay? So let's be conscious about this. Now, the consequences of indecisiveness, ayan, paralysis, delayed actions, missed opportunities, and fear and doubt. Okay, so I just want to quote something here. Sabi din dito, and I want to read it. Sabi ni Bernard Langer, okay? Be decisive. A wrong decision is generally less disastrous than indecision. Okay? So, syempre, we can make mistakes when we decide, pero what is really more consequential or what is really more disastrous? Sabi dito, mas mas okay pa na nagdesisyon ka pero nagkamali ka sa desisyon mo because you're unsure, but you made a decision rather than not making a decision at all. Mas delikado pa or mas nakakasira, mas nakakagambala ang indecision kasi bitin lahat nakabitin, nakahanging lahat ng bagay. So, that's what we're trying to take courage with. Decision na natin 'yan, sige, 'no? Desisyon na, i-apply na, pero 'pag nagkamali, you can still have time to recover. That's why indecision will just put you in limbo, will just put you in a place where of uncertainty. And that's hard. Now, that's excruciating, that's difficult, that's painful. Now, so when you are waiting on another person's decision, tapos nakahanging ka, 'di ba ang hirap nun? Or people are waiting on your decision, that's a lot of responsibility. So, we want to be decisive. And how do we become decisive? How do we increase our level of decisiveness? No? Hindi naman pwedeng reckless na decide ka lang ng decide without thinking or considering some things. So, we want to have that balance between uh, a decision maker who analyzes well, but at the same time doesn't take too long. Okay? So, yun yung two extremes. Matagal, sobrang bilis. So, you wanna find the middle ground to be able to become really a decisive person. Okay. So, let's be decisive today. No, kasi decisions, make us move forward. Without decisions, we will go slow. Uh, Without decisions, we will get stuck. Okay, we want to move forward. We want to keep progressing in our life. And I tell you, when was the last time, or I ask you, when was the last time you made a major decision? Diba? That major decision was a risk. That major decision that you made was something na hindi madali, pero may nangyari na sa buhay natin. Okay? So, let's go. No? Let's be more discerning. Let's be more courageous. Pag sinabing discerning, kasama na diyan ang dasal. Kasama na diyan ang pag-uusap sa ating Panginoon, no? At, 'pag nagsalita yung Panginoon, nabigyan tayo ng kapayapaan, siyempre di naman tayo mga robot, so we have to take action. And action, um, it requires courage. Kailangan ng ano natin, tapang, ng bravery and, courage. So, let me share with you 5 ways to grow in decisiveness. Right? 5 ways to grow in decisiveness. So, if you're ready, kahit may isa dyan mag-comment, no, fired up to be decisive, ayan po. Now, if you're fired up to be decisive, can kindly put there in our comment section. Fired up to be decisive. Ayan. I also know who's here. Sino ba ang nandito na, no? So, sino ang fired up to be decisive? Let me just type that down. Ayan. Okay, okay. Sino na ang nandirito? Let me know where you're coming from also. Yeah, finally I was able to type it. Fired up to be decisive. Ayan po. Sino na ang dirito? Ayan, si Lady Anne Abalye. Fired up na si Lady Anne to be decisive. Yes, my good friend Randall is also here. I'm fired up to be decisive. Ayan. Ron Merencillo, one of our patrons, fired up to be decisive. Yes, Jerome, good to see your names here. Fired up to be decisive. Ayan na. So may mga fired up people na in the house. So let's get it on. Let's go and find ways where we can be more decisive in our lives. All right, all right, all right. Sige. So, ano yung una? Yan. Unang-una talaga, have the humility to consult people with wisdom and experience. Ayan. So, inuna kayong have the humility. Kasi, di ko lang alam, baka we have this mentality na you're the smartest one in the room. You're the one who read the most books. You're the one who has the most experience. Alam mo na yan. No? Kaya hindi mo na pinapakinggan to, hindi mo na pinapakinggan yan. And when you're full of pride with yourself because of your probably achievements or recent victories, no? Parang lumalaki yung ulo natin to the certain point na okay, di ko na kailangan tanungin si ganito, no? Di ko na kailangan tanungin si Ninong. Di ko na kailangan konsultahin itong taong 'to. Alam ko na, no? Alam ko na yan lahat, no? Although kahit you feel like you're confident, di mo pa rin inaaksiyunan. Okay? Parang ano siya, it's like parang conflicting situation. You feel confident, but at the end, you're still afraid. Parang mayabang, pero takot pa rin magdesisyon. Okay? Kasi decisions have consequences. So, we need to consult people. Napakahalaga. And it takes a lot of humility. No? We consult people for the sake of our families. We consult people because these people have probably come from that situation before. They were faced with that same decision. Ano yung ginawa nila? What did they regret doing? And what did they do that worked for them? Di ba? Kasi when we are able to take time to sit down with people, have coffee, or even just a call, and ask them, ano sa tingin niyo po? No, if you were in my shoes, what would be a good thing to do in my shoes? What would be the wise thing to do? It's a tough decision, but should I do this? Should I do that? No? So you try just the fact that you're sharing your concern with some person who is more advanced, some person who is um, better at you in that field. The fact that you're just sharing it, it napoprocess na po yung decision making mo. No? Yung dinidescribe mo pa lang yung sitwasyon, dinidescribe mo pa lang yung problema, it's already processing. Kasi a lot of decisions in our minds, no, are are there. They're floating. Parang nakaka-overwhelm yun. Pero 'pag kinikwento mo na sa isang tao, it creates a certain order of things. It creates a certain clarity. Okay? So just just the fact that you're sharing that situation, that conundrum that you're in, or you're sharing to that person and you how tough that decision is that you have to make, no, it already clarifies. Tapos meron pang dagdag na wisdom from that person. And I think that's very helpful. I think that's very humble of us if we do that. No? So what I do is every Christmas, no, every Christmas time, dyan, no, we try to meet up with the ninongs. Ninong sa kasal, ninong ng mga inaanak ng mga anak ko. So we try to meet up with the ninongs, not because we want to collect gifts. But siyempre bakasyon and they have more time and we try to go out for breakfast or coffee, some snack, diba, or dinner. And we try to pick their brains. We try to pick their brains, especially with certain things that we have to decide in our family, career decisions, business decisions. So we try to pick their brains. Kasi sometimes when we meet up with our elders, salita tayo ng salita. Di tayo nagtatanong. Try to we try to communicate how well we are at life, no? Okay naman po kami. In fact, ito yung progress sa aming buhay. No, we try to project a certain status where we're good. We're okay, no? But, sayang yung time if you're just gonna spend that updating how good you're doing. Why not have that humility to actually say, we're we're having a problem with this certain situation. Can you help us? Uh, can you help shed light on this certain decision that we need to make about certain things? Okay, so I think that can help. No? The humility to have that is very helpful. So consult people with wisdom and experience. The second uh, way to increase our level of decisiveness, to increase our courage, is definitely through prayer and discernment. Okay? Kailangan natin ipagdasal ang mga bagay. Kasi 'pag naguguluhan ka sa decision making, ibig sabihin nun makalat, things are out of order, things are not prioritized, what's supposed to be prioritized. Then, prayer brings that all into the right order. The fact that you prayed and you are in the presence of God, there's a certain uh, order of things eh. Kasi, di ba, seek ye first the kingdom of God and all these things shall be added unto you. Ano ba ibig sabihin nun? Inuna mo ang Diyos at nilagay mo yung Diyos sa lahat ng ginagawa mo. Nilagay mo yung Diyos sa pamilya mo, and because you bring the presence of Christ, relationships are mended, relationships are strengthened. Dinala mo yung presensya ni Lord dun sa negosyo mo. That means you are honest. That means you are, compliant to whatever government requires, and you are also patient and kind to your clients, or patient and kind to your co-workers, di ba? So when you put that prayerfulness into the things that you're doing, you are also able to hear God better, 'di ba? You're also here, you also become extra sensitive to the leadings of the Lord in your life, 'di ba? Kasi what is the consequence of sin? Sin separates us from God. That's how simple it is, 'di ba? Pag nagkasala tayo, we are actually disconnecting ourselves with God. And the more we try to be prayerful, the more we try to recover our spirituality, and the closer we get to God, his voice becomes more familiar and familiar. It's gonna because of that relationship, malalaman mo ngayon sa mga sitwasyon na 'to ay this is where God wants to lead you. That familiarity of voice, 'di ba? Gano'n naman 'no. When you call somebody diyan sa bahay, we have a landline here, 'no, and I have like 6 other people here at home. Every time I call home, hindi ko na kailangan sagutin yung ano, tanungin kung sino. Every person at home, I know the timbre of their voices. Alam ko yung way they speak, alam ko yung tonality, 'di ba? So, automatic alam ko kung sino nagsasalita. Yung asawa ko ba, yung mga anak ko ba, yung eldest ko ba, you know? And you know that comparison, it's like, okay, when you come into prayer and you're faced with a tough decision and you're going this to the right way, or left or right ba, saan ba tayo? 'Pag gano'n dito ay naririnig mo ang tug of God towards that direction. So, this is helping us to be decisive because in our minds also, we are declaring na pinagdasal ko 'to and I feel at peace with this decision. Okay? So, this is totally, irreplaceable. This is, uh, we should not make tough decisions without consulting God in prayer. Diba? Kasi an indicator of a good decision is that if you're at peace with that decision, and you can say when you move forward with it, ayan, kahit mahirap pa rin ang magiging pangyayari, we were able to pray for that and we were led to that. Okay? So be prayerful and discerning. Without this, everything just crumbles. All right. So number three, ito mahalaga. Mahalaga na when you make a tough decision in life, put a deadline to make a decision or put a deadline in making a decision. So, pag wala kang deadline, walang ano eh, walang activity, walang deliberateness, walang intentionality, walang sincerity. Now, pag may deadline, let's just say, yeah, I need to pray a lot about this. Let me pray about it for 2 weeks. Yan, parang nararamdaman mo yan eh. So, depende sa bigat ng desisyon. May estimate mo na ng kaunti gaano gaano katagal ang kailangan mo. Okay, kung maglilipat ng tirahan, migration, let me pray about that for a month, no? So that can be the situation. Okay, I think my internet's a bit unstable. I hope you're still there, guys. Yan. So let me know if you're still there. So I would know na nandito pa tayo. Alright, alright. So we need to put a deadline, to make a decision. And we have to stick to that deadline. Kasi if we don't stick to that deadline, babagal yung takbo ng ating buhay. Our lives will 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 not progress as much as we want it to. Okay, so it helps to have a timeline, on certain decisions that you make. So just maybe what we can do is let's list down the decisions we have to make. No, lista natin yan lahat. Decision one, decision two, decision three, four, and five. Tapos lagyan mo ng lagyan mo ng date bawat isa. Lagyan mo ng date ang bawat isang decision na kailangan mong gawin. Alright. So, when you do that, ano din, no, mapapanatag ka rin na hindi ka masyado stressed. You're not too anxious also of certain things because you have a way to make a decision or you have a timeline for it. Okay? So, have a deadline and stick to that deadline in making that decision. All right, all right. So, yeah, I don't know what's happening with my internet, guys. Hope everything goes well on your end there. Let me know if it's still running well. Okay. So, let's put a deadline to make a decision and stick to it. Number four, yeah, internet's back. Number four is that we have to analyze. No, pag sinabing analyze, kailangan pag-isipan natin. So, we use the faculty of our minds. Now, 'pag sa social media, at the back end of Facebook, at the back end of Twitter, YouTube, may tinatawag na analytics, 'di ba? I don't know if you're familiar with that. There's this analytics. Like, you own a website, you want to know where the people are coming from, where the visitors of your website are coming from, and therefore, they're coming from this one place or this one post brought in the people, you're able to invest more of that platform where it came from, di ba? Kung galing sa ads and you're able to make sales out of the ads, then, you know, you want to put more in that ads. You want to put more investment in that ads. So that's the power of analytics. So if we don't appreciate analysis, if we don't appreciate analytics, then we probably make the wrong decisions again and again and again. Okay. So we want to imagine the impact of our options. So, siyempre, when you are faced with a tough decision, change career of business, change location, add a new business. Ayan, may mga tough decisions yan that would really take away or require much of your time and effort, di ba? So you have these options. Ano ngayon ang impact ng options na yan? Kasi we say yes to certain things, pero di natin alam yung oras na kukunin sa'yo sa pag-ye-yes natin diyan, malaki, 'no? At dahil nag-commit ka diyan, merong nawalang oras sa ibang bagay na dapat mong ginagawa, okay? So, analyze, weigh things, no? Do your pros and cons, uh, do your, um, prioritization, sequence them, kung ano yung mas mahalaga, ano yung second more important, third important, fourth fourth, in priority, fifth, sixth, seventh in priority. So, do this analysis. Again, pros and cons. You can rank them according to importance. And at the same time, maybe you can eliminate certain things already so that you can put more time and thought into a few options lang. So you can start with a lot of options and eliminate them. Have a top 3, 'di ba? Parang beauty pageant lang, 'no? Binibining Pilipinas naman lately. So you have a lot of contestants, tapos you come up with a top, ano ba, 15, then after top 15, you come up with a top 3. And the judges are able to pick better na lang, sa tatlo na lang ang kanilang iisipin. So ganun ang analysis. You wanna narrow down your options to a very few, no? So you have, elim eh, process of elimination. Okay, hindi na 'to option kasi wala talaga, hindi pumapasa sa measurements na or standards that you have until you just come up with 2 na lang, dalawa na lang at the end. So, weigh your impact. So, gano'n 'no, na napakahalaga mag-analyze. But again, we refer to the previous recommendation to put a deadline to your analyzing, to put a deadline in your time of study for these certain things para makapagdesisyon talaga ng maayos. Okay, so imagine the impact of your options. And how do you do that? Analysis. Okay? Um, there's a good tool that I was teaching some companies na during some of my trainings. Six thinking hats. Six thinking hats make it probably more detailed in terms of decision making. So, pag sinabi pong white hat, that means you're gonna deal with facts. I'm gonna wear my white hat today. Ayan, facts. Pag sinabing blue hat, that means you're thinking like a boss. You're thinking like a manager. You're thinking like, how is it good for the company? How is it good for the employees? How is it good for the business? Ganon. No? So yun yung blue hat. Ang red hat naman is you 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 tap on your emotions. Ayan, yun yung wearing your red hat. 'Di ba? Yung anong kutob mo dito? Anong pakiramdam mo dito? Okay? So, yun yung red hat kasi mahalaga din to scrutinize how we feel. Yung iba naman just making decisions based on how they feel, 'di ba? Another hat that you can wear is is the green hat, no? What new opportunities, what new innovations can come out from this situation, from this tough decision that we are being faced with. Okay, that's the green hat. No, another hat would be the the black hat. No? The black hat is you can think negatively. No, you can think negatively. What could go wrong? Okay, so yun yung black hat. No, so that can help in your analysis. So you weigh all these thinking hats. No, you weigh all of them and make a better decision. So maraming analysis, no? Maraming tools for analysis that we can use. Another tool for analysis would be the why diagram. So we start why this decision because this one. Tapos pag sumagot na ng why, no, ask another why, then ask another why. Hangga't makalimang why ka, so then you're able to break down the reason behind that option or the reason behind why you should make this decision and why not the other one. So you can use the why diagram. Okay, so you can just type in Google decision making tools. Okay, or uh, tools to make alternatives, you know, tools to create options and alternatives, then tools for decision making. So yeah, if it's really high quality decision that you want, you gotta go into the analysis phase. Okay, and again, put the deadline para walang paralysis. All right, so that's number 4. The fifth one is be firm with your values. Ito mga halaga, no? Making a tough decision. Kasi values can vary from person to person. Lalo na pag yung mga taong walang values na they have values but they always compromise their values. Like for example, to be honest, it's a value you're supposed to embrace, but honesty is just being set aside in terms of ganun talaga eh. Ganun yung SOP, ganun yung sistema, bulok, wala tayong choice. Mga ganyan. No, so, you're not able to stand up for a decision, especially in business, di ba? And you can be a good witness if you have that. You can be a good witness to your client. You can be a good witness to your dealings. At syempre, when you do that again and again, you'll have a reputation that you are compromising your values. No? At the start, probably it's hard, no, to stand up for your values in a world where they're just want wanting to take advantage of any kind of opportunity, good or bad opportunities. No? So when we are firm with our values, it's easier to make a decision. No? Hindi na siya kailangang pag-isipan masyado kasi, okay, is it aligned to my values? Yes. Okay, let's go for that. Is this not aligned to our values? Then let's not go for that. So values matter, especially when companies, board of directors are faced with a very challenging situation, a hard decision that they have to make. Then they go back to their company values. If it checks in with their company values, then yun na, no? Kasi values are like compasses. No? You know where your north is. So, what are your values? Even in the elections, no? When you choose a candidate, maybe you can list down your personal values. What do you believe in? Kahit tatlong values, 3 to 5 values. Your personal, ano yung mahalaga para sa iyo? Pamilya, pananampalataya, mahalaga sa akin, maayos na pamamalakad. You can put your personal values, then you can you can now put another side and look at your candidates. Which candidates are aligned to your own values, di ba? So that's one way. That's one way to make a decision, especially when it's the fate of our country that matters. All right. So be firm with your values, and you'll be able to make tough decisions. Kahit siraan ka pa dahil sa decision na ginawa mo, pero sa loob-loob mo, I stood with my principles. I stood with what I believe in. All right. So that's the fifth one. Okay. So let me just review it. Ayan, sorry. Nag-echo yung aking phone. Alright, so 5 ways to grow in decisiveness. Number 1, have the humility to consult people with wisdom and experience. Number 2, be prayerful and discerning. Number 3, put a deadline to make a decision. Number 4, analyze, imagine the impact of your options. Number 5, be firm with your values. Ayan po, yun po yung 5 ways in my view that we can grow in decision making or grow in decisiveness para maging matapang tayo to make decisions, di ba? Hindi tayo wimps when faced with difficult and major life-changing decisions. Okay, ayan. So, kasi kailangan ng ating mga anak 'to, kailangan natin ng mga pamilya, kailangan ng mga empleyado niyo, 'no? Kailangan ng bayan natin, ayan. So, we have to be decisive. Alright, so those are the 5 things. And hey, hello Salina, thanks for being here. Fired up to be decisive. Awesome. All right. Hey Randall, thanks for being here. Ayan po. Yan po yung ating if you have questions, that would be awesome. If you have things on your mind that you want to add and how to become more decisive, that's really great, di ba? So you can share this video also to other people. Ayan. So which of the five things that I just shared with you guys, alin sa limang to resonates with you? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the comment section. Alin sa 5 ang nakakatulong, no, para sa iyo today? So, keep that in mind. Be decisive. Participate, be decisive. Choose which of the 5 is most helpful to you. Okay. All right, all right. Get fired up. So, hey guys, if you love the show today, if this has helped you in any way, or in the past maybe you've watched some of my shows and seen some of my mini blogs, ayan. No, so you can help support the Fired Up Life by being a patron, by sending stars. You can also be a supporter through Facebook, and you can support through Gcash as well. Those are some of our options. And yes, but I highly recommend being a patron so that month after month you are actually being able to support this ministry online. Yeah. So go ahead and go to patreon.com/fireduplife. So these are our patrons for the past couple of months, or some of them over a year already. So grateful to you guys. You keep the fire burning. And thanks for making a decision month after month to support the Fired Up Life Show. Salamat! Ayan. Again, you can send stars. You can also um, buy my book. Konti na lang. I think tatlo na lang ata. I think there are like 3 more copies that are left. So you can just go to fireduplifestore.com. Gusto mo na lang mauna sa inyo. And hey, you can get me for your companies also. I can offer team building, leadership training. I have a Passion 8 training program, customized values formation, and spiritual retreats and recollections for your company. So hey, if ever you need it, you know who to call. And if you're you want to grow your business by becoming a better online content creator, and especially if it's about the faith, you can just enroll in Fired Up University, just firedupu.com, and be one of those people I mentor. So I mentor a group of people every Monday. I meet them up, and when you enter Fired Up University, you're gonna get all my courses. Dati binebenta ko lang yung mga courses ko isa-isa. I put them all in one membership site, and you can access them all. Clarity course, content creation course, community building course, vlogging course. There's this website creation course, email marketing course. Ayan po. You can check it out in firedupu.com and see if it's for you. See if Fired Up You is for you if you want to be part of my group. Okay, so that's it. That's our session for today. Hey, hey, Randall. Para kay Randall, it's really about putting a deadline on things. Ayan, mahalaga yan. Na? Kaya nga deadline, actually, deadlines are one of the most effective tools. 'Di ba? Kasi yung deadline lalo na 'pag nire-require ng school, nire-require ng gobyerno, nire-require ng kumpanya, we really get it done because there's a deadline. Yo, yo. Yes, Salina. Para sa kanya, have the humility to consult people with wisdom, even though na mas bata ang head namin ngayon sa CFC, always obey and consult him before we decide on how to do in our lower house. Wow, that's really, kaya maganda na I really put there the word humility because sometimes, people with wisdom and experience or people in the position of service or in the position of our companies are younger than us. No? So we respect that authority. So it takes a lot of humility to do that. All right, that's awesome. Hey guys, that's it for our show today. I'm happy that you showed up. And for you who are watching this on replay, glad you're here. And please share this. Share this episode to your friends. And yeah, just check out my page every day. I put 4 to 5 inspirations to motivate you. And if you want to be part of my email list, if you're not getting emails from me yet, just message me that you want to be part of my email list. All right, that's it, folks. God bless you. Keep being fired up, guys. Bye. Be decisive.